Hey, it's your weird Uncle Brendan, and I'm here to talk to you about arcane magic in Dungeon Crawl Classics. Part of the DCC ethos is that magic is this chaotic, uncontrollable, wild force that mortals can learn to wield, but never truly to control. Magic just doesn't work that way. We represent this with a spell check. So a wizard casting a spell makes a check just like a warrior swinging their sword. The check is equal to a d20, which is your action die, plus your caster level, plus your relevant stat modifier, which is intelligence if you are playing an arcane spellcaster, an elf or a wizard. You roll and you make your spell check, and then you check on the chart. Every spell has a chart, and the chart shows you, depending on how high you roll, how effective your spell is. With the higher you rate on the chart, the more effective your spell is. If you cast animal summoning and you get a 12, you get one animal with one hit die. That's pretty good. Get a dog or something, bite somebody. But if you get a 20 on that same check, 4 hit die animal. That's a polar bear, okay? That's a narwhal. You know what I mean? That's something really serious, you know? So there's a lot of differential as you get higher up on that chart. If you cast a spell, you can cast it successfully. If you cast a spell successfully, you can cast it again that next round. We do not have spell slots in Dungeon Crawl Classics. Rather than that, we just realize that if you can cast a spell, you can cast it again that next round. You do not lose the ability to cast a spell normally until you fail a spell check. Now, once you fail the spell check, then you've lost the ability to cast that spell normally. There's still a way to do it, but you can't cast that spell without a cost going forward. So a failure is one thing, but if you roll a natural 1, boom, that means you have lost control of the spell's energy and there has been a mishap. You can get a misfire. You cast a spell and the energy does something you didn't want it for to do. You get your opponents, you heal your opponent rather than harm them. You zap your allies or yourself. You can get a corruption. You cast a spell, the spell's energies bounce back on you, and voila! Then all of a sudden, somehow the magical energies have changed you in some way. You might grow a second face, get weird hair, claw, who knows? Whatever it is, though, it's permanent. So be careful. You can also get what's called patron taint. Wizards can have magical patrons. There are supernatural entities that they enter into a bargain with. And if they get one spell check and get a patron taint, that means that somehow they change and become more like that patron. It's very recognizable. And eventually, someone who gets all the patron taints, is a permanent servant and an obvious, stand-in for their patron, whoever that happens to be. So, how can you empower your spells? What you can do is a mechanic called Spellburn. And Spellburn represents another part of the DCC magic ethos, which is that wizards and elves learn to use their blood and their pain and an expenditure of their soul energy, a sacrifice to the weird entities that govern magic in order to increase the power of their spells. Mechanically, the way it works is you have to declare Spellburn before you make your spell check, and then you burn points from your physical stats, from your strength, agility, and stamina, and add those on a one-for-one basis to your spell check. So you might say, all right, I'm going to cast animal summoning like we did a minute ago, but I really got to get something big and heinous this time. So I'm going to do some Spellburn. I'm going to cast Spellburn, but I'm going to cast animal summoning, but I'm going to do 2 points of Spellburn. I'll burn 2 points of strength. Or I'll burn a point of strength, a point of stamina, and a point of agility. Or I'll burn 7 points of agility and break about a whole new barn door. Whatever it happens to be. Points that you Spellburn do return at a rate of 1 per day, so it's not a permanent loss, but it can leave you in a bad way for a while. And if you have lost a spell for the day, you can do 1 point of Spellburn to cast that spell 1 more time. So you lose animal summoning. That's great. That's terrible. So you need it next encounter, so you do a point of Spellburn and you can cast it 1 more time. And if you need it again an hour later, do 1 more point of Spellburn, cast that 1 more time. So that's arcane spells in DCC 101. Watch for another video coming up soon. We'll talk about some more things about Dungeon Crawl Classics. Weird Uncle Brendan out. Thank you.